When back screaming words hope you like the absurd. It's a dab of salt.
Alright, so, welcome to a dab of salt. We begin this very fine day, a tad early. So, it's bright and early, the sun is out, chickens are clucking, we've tilled the farm of...
It's almost
you guys are supposed to cut in,
I'm letting you
contributing.
set the scene that we live on a farm.
Yeah, and it's
God,
almost,
I was trying to
6 p.m. So
I was trying to start like a bit, and you guys would be like, "Oh yeah, we went and farmed the joke corn today," and really
farmed the joke corn.
Farmed the joke corn.
Yeah, I don't think we were ever going to go there.
And you tilled the witty rice of.
Hey, do I hear like a joke?
What?
What's an editor's worst sound?
Don't. Whatever it is, do not do it.
No, just...
Don't. Please. Whatever the fuck you're about to do not do it. Just tell me what you're going to do.
I would totally do it if I didn't see the actual pleading in your eyes to not do
because
it.
The problem is when you're like, oh, haha, I'm going to fart into the microphone, I'm going to sneeze, I'm going to burp, I'm going to crack my knuckles into a microphone. The thing that I hear is, hey, editor, when you have your headphones on and you're listening and waiting for that, just be prepared for your entire body to just seize because a terrible noise is on its way.
I was gonna crack my knuckles really hard into the mic. I'll crack them behind me.
Okay, thank you. I that is way better than before when you used to sniff aggressively into the microphone.
Yeah, well, it's like...
Fuck, that was so nasty.
Because I was like, it was a dark episode and I was also sick, and I already have like a nasally voice. But I was sick, so it was double. And then I kept sniffing, and Percy's like, "Stop fucking sniffing!" I just snorted like on top of the mic. It
was pretty much the worst thing.
Yeah.
So
I think what sound did you replace it with? You replaced it with the really fast audio of Bubblegum Bitch.
Oh yeah. Well, no, that was the first few times, and then when you made that really long sniff, I said sniff. And then drug it out, and then made it echoey, and added some like tingling noises at the sound, so it sounded like you were sniffing. Okay, so introductions. I actually remembered. I know that we're like actually too far in,
but fucking do it. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever, fucking fine. I'm Percy.
I'm Brad,
and I'm Chris.
And we are
the Wonder Pets.
That was terrible.
This is serious. Remember that show?
I don't.
They had a duck. She talked like a baby. It was weird.
Dutch?
Duck.
I thought you said a Dutch.
They would never allow a fucking dirty Dutch on the show.
Whoa! I think we've just alienated all one of our Dutch listeners. Okay, so topics for today. I have two. One happened literally right before we began recording the podcast, and the other one I've been thinking about, but it's terrible. So I'm gonna give them to you first because it's not.
I hate the first topic because I don't know what it is, but I've hung out with you almost all day, so I know every potential thing it could be.
You don't. It's phone games.
Oh my god.
That's the whole topic. I want to talk about phone games. And not even in a particularly...
Is that your bad one or your good one?
That's my bad one. That's my bad one. That's my really bad one. The good one, or at least the one that has slightly more meat on it, is comic books, which I think that we could talk about, especially insofar as like comic book art and how that is a good medium to tell a story is concerned. So I think that could actually be an interesting topic. But phone games, my opinion boils down to I play a lot of them.
My two topics were about Obama and Anarchy. I will not elaborate unless we talk about that.
Okay, you know what? I am legitimately interested, Chris.
Yeah, what were yours?
I pulled a Percy, and my topics are I have no topic, except for the fact that Percy never has a topic.
Nice.
Well,
I was about to say, I pulled a Percy and I wasn't prepared to start the podcast. I introduced nobody.
It's okay. Look, I'm not gonna fucking introduce you guys.
No, but this episode, let's start talking about our topics.
Look, well, I'm not gonna introduce you like, hey, look, I don't fucking...
just be like, I'm Percy.
I don't remember. I go into show mode, and I immediately assume everyone knows me because they've seen me on a leaflet when they've sat down in the theater.
Yeah.
to listen to me sing.
Well, we mailed out the pamphlets to our Patreon.
Exactly.
supporters.
I email every single person that listens to this. I track down their IP address and their home address and where they work, and send them a little pamphlet that says, "Thank you for giving me the time of day. You want to hang out sometime? I'm very lonely."
No, it's a post-it note that just says "I'll find you" written in Sharpie on it.
Yeah, but I add a heart at the end, like an exclamation point with a heart at the bottom.
Well, it's really creepy when it's an anatomical heart. So.
Well, I mean, I can't help myself. I want them to know that I understand what hearts look like.
You're all artistic. I just still use construction paper and crayon.
I feel like that's more threatening.
I feel like that's significantly more threatening.
I need you to guess. Is it going to be a kid coming after me? Or an adult?
Oh, wait. Can I actually talk about that for a little bit?
I go for it.
Okay, so this is not any of my topics, but it's a really short thing. I asked people this question, and I'm interested to see the responses. I think I've asked you this question before, Percy.
Uh-huh.
But, what's scarier? A grown man you don't know at the foot of your bed in the middle of the night, or a child you don't know at the foot of your bed in the middle of the night?
Is it my kid?
You don't know. Like, you don't know this kid, you don't know this man, either way. Which one is scarier to, like, wake up to?
I think I don't remember what my
I think I remember yours, but go ahead.
I don't remember it, so I'm going to say a man.
Yeah, that's what you said last time.
Okay,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Do you want to
a man.
explain why?
Yes, the reason I think a man is scarier is because I can beat the shit out of a small child. Even if it's a ghost, I can punch it, and if the child is unpunchable because it's a ghost child, I was gonna fucking die anyways.
What about you, Chris?
I don't know. I think they're both equally bad.
Right?
Because I have to imagine how a child, A, got into my home.
That's the whole thing.
B, made it into my bedroom, and then got close enough for me to notice it before my dogs.
And why is it staring at you?
Or the alarm, and why is it looking at me? Which means that it's one of two things. A demon or a ghost. At least the guy, if I wake up and he's staring at me, he hasn't killed me yet. Which means he's given me an opening. The kid, that's a little too creepy for me, so I think maybe the kid. Because that also may imply that there are adults in the house, too.
Well, I just like the fact that you're like, oh, well, I can take a man. You know, I sleep with my Batman utility belt, and when I immediately wake up, I'll go for my fucking saber and taser him with my fucking lightning sword.
Because, like, with me, like, I'm way more afraid of, like, the child.
So weird.
Well, because, like, if it's a man, I can fight him, but when I'm a kid, I'm like, oh, this is a ghost, I'm gonna die. Like, I feel like it's, like, a psychological part of your brain versus the practical part of your brain. Which one you use in that situation? I feel like the more practical part of your brain goes with being more afraid of the man, and the more psychological part is more afraid of the child.
To me, it would be the difference of what is the man wearing.
He's naked.
That's a little concerning.
He is naked, but he has a really big sword.
And he's smiling.
Yeah, he's smiling and he has a sword. And he has a cape. And maybe, like, steampunk goggles.
You've thought about this too much.
It's like the world's worst superhero.
Well, I'm just thinking of what is the man I'd be the most scared of? Steampunk goggles, naked cape, sword. Immediately, I'm like, those are all four the worst things. Maybe a neck beard. No actual beard, just under his chin. Fully hairy.
Mine's like any bright-eyed child that isn't blinking.
Bright-eyed as in, like, it has the spirit of hope in his heart.
No, as in it has blue eyes. Like a small freak child. No, at my other job, like, we had this kid who just, like, looked in through the window, and it was this little, like, toe-headed kid with, like, blue eyes. And he just wouldn't emote. He just stared through the window and popped up in different places. Felt like he was playing a game, but I was like, cool, our fucking work has ghosts now. That's not something I wanted to worry about.
Well, having woken up twice in my life to seeing somebody staring at me, and one of them I knew, one of them I did not. I was, I want to say, maybe 11 or 12 years old. And to preface this, I hate scary movies. Hate them. And growing up, back in the old-timey days, sometimes there'd be brownouts or power outages. Well, every time the power would go out, my brother would immediately go into terrorize mode.
Super quick, what's a brownout?
Yeah. A brownout is the potential power loss, where sections of housing start to lose power and you start seeing things go dim. Or like 3 houses down, their power's out, yours is not. And slowly, like, areas are going out and others are coming back on. It's a moderation of
shit
power.
Gets dim, you can't use, like, the fridge goes out, but you still have a little bit of light.
You start turning off, like, non-essential things to try to, whatever power you are getting, you can maintain power.
Yeah, you get, like, the essentials.
So he would terrorize me. Whatever fear a horror movie could put into you, he would amplify it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mom just-
long story to get to. As I got older and still wanted to watch scary movies, my brother, being the douche that he was, would say things like, well, if you give me $1 or $2, I'll let you sleep on my floor in my room. That way, you know, and me in my mind was like, great. Because 2 people in one room, they can kill him and I can get away. And I was willing to sacrifice my brother to get away.
Did you pay him to torment you?
No.
That's
I mean,
what-
in essence, yes.
That's what it sounds
He was
like.
using it to get money from me. Well, in this one particular instance, I don't even know what scary movie it was, but I was heightenedly aware of everything going on outside. Bushes creaking, everything else. So I was super terrified. And he agreed to let me sleep on his floor and get killed for me for like $5.
Very kind.
So I was like, deal done. Well, we had a backyard that had a high fence on one side, and then, because it pitched up in the back, and then came down lower. His bedroom window was on the side of the house getting to the gate. So probably about midnight, I heard noises. So I laid there terrified, staring at his window, and then along starts coming a shadow. I'm like, it's a tree shadow. It's nothing. You're just terrified. And then this guy steps from what would be the side of the house, now passing my brother's window, and is passing the window, and I'm sitting there staring at him like, holy fuck, there's actually somebody outside.
What a weird fucking tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna continue to walk.
The tree has
But then he
hands.
stopped and then turns and like looking in the window. And mind you, he probably wasn't looking at me so much as looking into the window to see what he may be able to see. But I felt like this person is staring at me. So I'm now frozen in pure terror, laying on the floor, looking up. And I'm like, oh, if I can get my brother up, he'll die for me. So he can take if this guy tries to get into the window, at least I have my brother as a shield. And then the guy just turned and walked away. So then immediately I jump up, wake up my brother, because, you know, I'm paying him for the protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've given you $1. It's your time to fucking
Yeah.
die.
So I'm shaking him like, there's somebody outside, there's somebody outside. And he's like, if they come in, they can kill me first. It's okay. I was like, no, you don't understand. There was somebody outside. Wouldn't believe me for the life of me. Well, then the next morning when we went outside, by the window, you could actually see where there was a couple of footprints. And you can see where the footprint was from the fence. You can see where they hopped one fence and then just kind of crossed our yard to get to the other side. Yeah. I was like, I told you. But I was like, yeah, but he didn't come in. See, your protection worked. Mind you, I'm 11 or 12. I'm like, it did. So I was already sold now that I can always pay my brother to die for me, though he wouldn't wake up for me.
Okay. But like, let's turn back. Did you ever fucking find out who that was? You can't
Nope.
just be like, oh, there.
Nope.
It was just a random potential
Random.
home invader.
No, I mean, what do you do? Call cops, say there's a shoe print in the dirt? We didn't have cameras. We didn't have anything like that. I mean, It wasn't even like a detailed, like, it's a Nike. It was just a impression by the window. Could have been any one of my brother's friends. Could have been.
Was it a Yeti?
No, they were wearing clothes and they were shaved.
Was it a civilized Yeti?
They didn't have a
Wait,
beard. So.
Was it one of those Duchess?
Yeah, one of those fucking
Could have been the Dutch.
I mean, actual Duchess,
But
like,
no.
as opposed to a Duke.
Oh, no,
you.
because it was male.
What was it?
Or at least it identified male.
That's type of cryptid. It's a Duke.
Yeah.
And a Duchess.
Yeah.
And then the other incident
Romeo.
of waking up to somebody was, it's back when I was painting, and we got contracted to paint an apartment complex. So as part of that payment, they gave us like, I think 3 rooms.
Yeah.
In the complex to use. So in the room I was in, we had, we had 6 people in our room.
Like 6 smelly house painters in one room.
No, we weren't in one room. We were in an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. So we had 2 in one room, 2 in the living room, and then 2 in the other room, which was my room.
Yeah.
I had the 3 youngest and the oldest in my apartment. But we went to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night, and he was sitting on the end of my bed. Well, apparently he was sleepwalking. He was a sleepwalker, and he had gotten off his bed and sat on mine and was just having a conversation with himself. So I had to kick him enough times to force him off the bed, and then he just meandered over to his own bed. And then in the morning, I told him, don't ever fucking get on my bed again, or else I'm going to really hurt you. And he was like, sorry, dude, I'm a sleepwalker. I haven't done it in a while and everything else. It's just when I'm in different places and I'm like nervous about being in a new place, it just happens. Like
That sounds like something a fucking murderer would say.
I was like,
that sounds
whatever.
like he's setting it up.
Don't ever let it happen again.
Do you staple him to the bed?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, this is a guy that within the time I knew him, within a 6-month period of time of knowing him, I think I choked him out like 3 different times. So,
What?
Those are different stories entirely, but that's not the topic we're on.
Okay.
Well, it looks
fucking
like
okay.
Shit happens, okay?
fucking Chris Chokeout is a conversation that needs to be had in the future.
Yeah. That'll be for our Halloween special.
So,
Yeah.
that's just saying, I'm not as terrified when adults show up anymore, because it's already happened. I'd be more terrified about a child that's not mine.
I feel like both of those stories were equally terrifying because a guy who looks at you and then leaves is pretty much as scary as a man who comes into your bed, sits on it, mutters, and then, like, doesn't acknowledge you and walks out. Like, that's scary. And if you sleepwalk, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure that sucks. But having someone sitting there muttering to themselves while they're on your bed and, like, not acknowledge you sounds like kind of a fucking nightmare.
Also, get yourself checked out. You're probably haunted.
Yeah, you probably have demons. That's how demon happens.
I tried to kick him out of him. Didn't work.
Can I tell a spooky sleep story, too?
Yes.
So, when I was living in Hayward, it was just me and my mom while I was in school.
Uh-huh.
I had to get up at 6 a.m. And so, like, and the place my mom had was really small. Just to give you a layout of this apartment, it had a living room, a bedroom, and a kitchen. Yeah. It was a very tiny apartment. And since it only had one bedroom and a tiny apartment, the only bathroom was attached to the bedroom. So I had to go through my mom's room to take a shower. And so it's 6 a.m. and my mom's, like, really tired, and I know she gets, like, work in a couple hours. I'm trying not to wake her up. And so, like, I'm slipping by her and, like, trying to, like, get into, like, the shower, because, like, I don't want to wake her up. And my foot hits something, and then I see she doesn't get up. So I'm like, oh, thank God. And then all of a sudden I hear, like, a... And then she sits right up and says, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And she slowly goes back to sleep. And I took a shower. That's the story about how my mom farted herself awake.
Which, of course, directly correlates to...
I have told everybody that story. And I told my mom that.
And now you just told the fucking world!
Oh, I told my mom I'm going to tell the world. Because it's the best fucking story in the world.
I was sitting here waiting for you to be like, I hit someone while I was walking, and I walked and there was a man in my room, and I had to fight him off, and my mom stayed asleep the whole time.
No, my mom farted herself
Do you know how many other places you could have inserted my mom farted herself awake in a conversation, literally anywhere?
No, my mom...
I was waiting with bated breath. Fuck you.
The story was my mom farted herself awake, asked if I was okay, and fell back to sleep.
God damn it!
And I spent the entire shower trying not to laugh.
Well, that was terrible. You're the worst, okay?
It was funny.
So, Chris, let's talk about comics, you and me. While Brad mutters to himself like the guy sleeping on the edge of your bed about Little Bill.
More like edge of your seat, talking about this Little Bill lore, sponsored by Little Bill.
Kill yourself. The thing we were talking about right before this podcast opened was a comic called Saga, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. If you haven't, it's really interesting. I'm not really going to get into it, but check it out. The art's really pretty. I don't really care what the art looks like, as long as the story is good enough. I think that the art... I want the art to be consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I want the art in comic books to be consistent. I like a lot of things with art that could be potentially looked at as not beautiful, like Metalocalypse, but the art's consistent. Like Homestuck, consistency is what I look for in art, in any sort of art, and that goes for singing too and stuff like that. So
I feel like I have to like the art.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really like a good art style because everyone has their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, we're talking about like Rob Liefeld. That's probably someone's jam, and that person's wrong. But like, that's what that person likes, and like, so. But I do have to like the art. Like, it has to be good for me to see.
Yeah.
And Chris, like you and I were talking about how they have like guest artists sometimes, and the problem isn't that the artist is bad. It's just so not the art style of the comic of what it was.
Well,
like,
and sometimes they get over stylized because they want to make sure that they're different than the original artist. Like, I'm just a guest artist, so I want to put my stamp on this, and then it just looks like garbage.
Yeah. Which is weird because like, it's like if you get into something for a specific thing, and they're like, hey, you know what we like? If you change that thing. You're like Bill Nye the Science Guy? Get ready for Bill Cosby, the actual fucking criminal.
That was the weirdest. Yeah, that fucking... That Bill show got really fucking weird after season 2.
Oh, they're both named Bill. Fucking good on me. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, stupid. The the thing, that's a comic that I wanted to talk about very specifically that fucking did the whole, like, they, like, totally pulled a fast one on everyone who fucking read it. Fables, which was a comic I read back in high school, and it had a really amazing storyline, and
what
that
is
storyline...
Fables about?
Fables is about fucking... Are you asking me so that I can explain to the listeners or for yourself?
I know what Fables is about. Tell the listeners.
Fucking no one cares. The point is...
Oh my god!
About Fables.
Yeah, I was like, it's a fucking... It's a bunch of storybook characters come to, like, our world because their world has, like, essentially gone to fat shit because there's a bunch of people trying to take over. And now they're like, oh, now we have to live with human beings. And it's really fucking weird because, look, it's the big bad wolf and he's a person and he fucks Snow White, the end. So, there you go. I don't want to fucking explain shit that I'm talking about. It's not important. The point is, yeah, like volume 1 of that. The art is goddamn beautiful. That art is fucking gorgeous. They just do a good job making you want to fucking read this comic. And then you pick up number 2 being like, I am invested in this shit. Booyah! And you pick it up and it looks like a fat pile of dog shit. You look up Pinocchio. You look for fucking Pinocchio. And in the first... But Pinocchio's in there. Because, again, he's a storybook character.
Oh
so he
I think meant the actual Pinocchio manga.
No, yeah, the Pinocchio manga by Walt Disney. Stupid. No, so you look for Pinocchio in the Fables comic, and in the first one, he looks like a small boy. He looks like, a human. And then in every other volume after that, he looks like a fucking gorilla. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he has, like, a fucking big jaw, and, like, his eyes are all, like, yeah. Like, he has, like, an underbite. I'm like, what? You made him into a small person from Chicago? Like, what the fuck is this?
Do you know what a gorilla looks like?
It's like Chicago people.
Yeah, I think you said big chin and weird eyes. That's not what a fucking gorilla is.
He looks like he talks like a gorilla would if a gorilla was a people.
Yeah, some dude from Chicago. If you're from Chicago... Sorry, Percy thinks you're a fucking ape.
Yeah, so go enjoy your deep dish pizzas, you shits. Okay, so, the point is, like, I remember very acutely how offended I was once I realized, because it's funny, like, I actually didn't really realize that there was such a big change in the comic books until I was, like, reading the 2 volumes, and it was very specifically Pinocchio, where I was like, wow, he looks really different, and then I went back to the first comic, and I was like, oh my god, no wonder I started reading this, it was beautiful, now it looks like dog shit. And of course, the art is still good in the following volumes, it's just, like, not as, like, gorgeous as the first ones were.
You know where I saw that, like, really, really hard? Was a Batman comic called Red Hood and the Outlaws. That was about Jason Todd, the second Robin, being the Red Hood, which is his new persona that he's been forever. But, like, it was a cool comic, and, like, the art was awesome. It was Kenneth Rocafort who did the art, and it's just really, like, sleek, like, design, like, looked. His inks are amazing.
So, like, was that with Arsenal and Starfire?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, Arsenal, who was, like, Roy Harper, who was, like, Green Arrow's sidekick, then there's Starfire, who's
Was
Starfire.
he Red Arrow?
Yeah, and then, he was Speedy, then Red Arrow, and then, like, Arsenal. And then Starfire, who's been Starfire, who has, like, almost no clothes in this. That's, like, my one big critique.
Yeah.
Is almost everything about Starfire. But the art was incredible.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, beautiful. There's, like, a bunch of detail and everything. Like, if you look up, like, Kenneth Rocafort, his stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
But, like, the stuff afterward is not as much because they go for a more meat look.
Yeah.
And, like, Jason Todd in this, he looks like solidly, like, mid-20s, maybe, like, late 20s.
Yeah. Like,
he has a face on him that's, like, it's that look. Mm-hmm. And to describe that a little better, he looks like, just, like, not the way a lot of comic book characters normally look. He's not, like gritty, big chin. He's, like, he has angles on him. He has angles and he looks, like, younger because, like...
I feel like I need to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah. To
say that it makes me mad that a sidekick can have 3 names and he can just choose them like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, it was are you talking about Speedy, Red Arrow, Arsenal? That's an evolution of Speedy was like 12, and then Red Arrow was, say, 17, and then Arsenal was 20. So those were like his phases of growing up.
Yeah.
So dumb. There should be a law against child superheroes.
Well, Jason, and the big thing big thing with Jason Todd is he was Robin. He's the Robin who got the shit kicked out of him by the Joker
He's
and
the one
got
that died.
killed.
Which I think
And
should
then
be
he
illegal.
came back and then became the Red Hood, which was the Joker's original name.
I think that child superheroes should be illegal. I don't think it's nice that there are children fighting to keep us safe. That's what
Well,
adult
the real
superheroes
question
are for.
is what kind of pederasty is there in comics that these older characters always grab a young boy to be their sidekicks
It's a meat
on the
shield.
mean streets. Yeah, like, hey, and when you look at it, I mean, sorry to hijack your thing, but
No,
to look at it, the original two Robins, Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, both of whom had to be Batman's sidekick, who Batman wears navy blue and black, or just black with the yellow symbol.
Yeah.
That's it. He hides in the dark. He fights criminals in the alleyways, in shadow and smoke. And then he brings this little boy with him that can't be older than 12 or 11, makes him wear a yellow cape, a red shirt, and then green underwear. I call it underwear because
It's
his
underwear.
thighs are showing.
Yeah, Dick Grayson, there's like half cheek.
Yeah. And
Like-
and then booties. And
Yeah.
then says, get out there. I mean, might as well just have named him instead of Robin, just Decoy. Because,
It's the boy target!
yeah, just let me put this out there. And he's 12. We're going around in the middle of the night in dark alleyways hunting criminals who are killing, robbing, murder. I mean, just all these things. Let me send a little boy in to do this. It's fine. He'll be okay.
Use your slingshot, boy wonder.
Yeah.
Fucking
And,
dipshit.
and do it half naked.
Yeah.
You might as well be out there in just a Speedo.
They'll be so distracted by your thighs, they'll be very
And-
uncomfortable, and
and-
then you can shoot him in the eye.
And considering
David and
Gotham,
Goliath style.
Gotham is pretty much
A cesspool?
it's pretty much New,
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
And
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
that
Stop.
It was a
and,
Hamilton joke.
and most of their activity takes place at like midnight. So what's that? Like 30 degrees outside? The only thing that is exposed on Batman is his fucking chin.
It is his heart, because he's a very sad man.
Stop.
And then Robin, the only thing covered is his chest, pretty much. And with Speedy was Green Arrow's sidekick.
Well-
And then let me get another child and make him run around with me in the middle of the night.
That makes me mad is that you can just be like, I just don't like this name anymore. I'm just gonna be something like, you can't rebrand your superhero legacy. Like, don't you have to
Yeah, you
have
can.
to fucking get a superhero license and go to the fucking superhero DMV?
I
and be
think
like
I think
a
if you put in
superhero.
enough time, you bust enough criminals, you could name yourself whatever the fuck you want. Dick Grayson quit being Robin, renamed himself Nightwing.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think that superheroes, you know what, you should be. You should not fight until you're old enough to choose a name that you can stick with for at least a year and a half. At least a year
Alright,
and a
let's
half.
face it, if you were like 18, 19 years old and you got super fucking powers, you're like, I'm gonna be a superhero. I am fucking super McAwesome. 2 years down the road, you're like,
I'm the
you
Dark
know,
Nugget.
you're like, you know what sucks? The name Super McAwesome. So let me fucking change my name.
Yeah, but then
to
everyone
actually be
knows you
something
as Super
better.
McAwesome. No one's gonna be like, oh, our superhero in this city is Super McAwesome.
Well,
He's
I would-
changed his name to, like, fucking Dove Man.
Well,
Like,
I
you
would
can't,
say,
like, rebrand
generally,
yourself.
anytime a
People.
character,
Yeah,
It cleans up crime.
Yeah.
well, generally, anytime
Tells
a
people
character
they're beautiful.
changes their name, they also change their outfit. So you may not know it is Super McAwesome because now he's wearing a different. Instead of just having two thumbs pointing at this guy, now all of a sudden he's got a new suit on. You
Now
don't know that's
He's
Super
got a
McAwesome.
mustache now.
Now he has 3 thumbs.
Yeah. He
Cool thumb.
grafted one onto him.
Yeah, from his forehead.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with renaming or trying to rebrand yourself.
I have a problem with that because my thing is like as a superhero, you probably only have 1 or 2 powers. Let's say fucking Hawkeye. Like Hawkeye, he shoots arrows and he's like really good at that. Good for you. You can't be like, you know what? I want to be an aqua themed superhero, so I'm not gonna be Aquaman, but I'll be like Dolphin Dude.
Well,
and like then be
Hawkeye
like,
changed
oh,
his name too.
I don't want to hear about this right
He also
now.
has a
Okay, I'm
superpower.
trying to make a point
What?
that you can't be like, I'm gonna change my superhero thing, but do the same goddamn thing. Cause Dolphin Dude's gotta do something with water. And so my thing is like, if I'm Hawkeye and I'm good with the bow and arrow, if you're still gonna be good with the bow and arrow, if that's still gonna be your fucking superpower, don't rename yourself. You're Hawkeye, you shoot arrows. Don't do something else unless you're suddenly magical and you can throw fucking fire. And then do something with fire.
Can I say
And
something?
never show another fucking arrow in your life.
Can I say
What?
something? Hawkeye does have a power. He's deaf.
You
If
say
you're
that-
deaf and listening to this, you're a superhero. Especially if
Are we
you can
gonna
listen
put
to
it?
this.
Are we gonna translate it into Braille? How are deaf people gonna listen to our podcast? Which, if you can, that's
Subtitles?
awesome.
Yeah. You fucking dipshit.
We can't do.
You're not blind.
That's just a book. We would just be writing the book.
Audio to text.
Why don't we write a book?
Because that sounds terrible.
We could just transcribe this to text. Why don't we have a
Well,
transcriber
my
in the
thing
back
is,
room?
why are superheroes somewhat
Deaf?
unoriginal?
Oh.
Like,
What the fuck?
like, I shoot arrows. I'm Arrow Man. I mean, I wear green and I shoot arrows, so I am Green Arrow. I have the eyes of a hawk, so I'm gonna call myself Hawk Eye.
Well, as opposed to what, like,
Well, like
fucking two-finger
Aquaman.
Tommy?
I
Like,
play in the
suddenly,
water,
like,
so
He only has one finger per hand.
And he uses it to shoot arrows on Two-Finger Tommy.
And you can't
Like,
talk,
you
he
can't.
just screams.
It's terrible.
He just goes with
Well,
his one finger per
at least
hand.
some
just
names
goes,
make sense of like why you might want to break conformity. At least Speedy. I mean, Speedy. He shot arrows, but named himself fucking Speedy. Like, that's a kid name to me.
Yeah.
Hence why he probably went to Red
Yeah.
Arrow, and then they went, yeah, we already have a Green Arrow. We don't need redundancy in colors of people. We don't just keep shading people.
Yeah.
And then he went to like, I'm going to call myself Arsenal because he carries a bunch of shit with him now.
Yeah.
But so that makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
like people that I play in water, so therefore I'm Aquaman. Like I'm Waterman, but he didn't want to call himself Waterman.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I feel like Waterman.
there's no
also might
land man.
talk
There's
to fish.
there's no Earthman. I am Earthman because I walk on the earth.
Well, maybe if Earthman also talked to the animals of the earth, he could
Hey,
be.
that's called Captain Planet.
No, and that's
He's a hero.
and that's Animal Man. They already have a guy that covers
That's
that.
stupid, and I hate him. Whoever the fuck he is, I don't like him.
Can I talk about something I hate in comics that I thought about this week?
Can he understand Rocket
Fuck
Raccoon?
you!
Well, Rocket Raccoon, everyone can understand.
No, but does Animal Man hear Rocket Raccoon and not understand him? Because he's like, you're a raccoon, but you're not speaking Raccoonese.
Stop! God!
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear about Animal Man anymore!
And why
We're
is it
done!
why is it Raccoonese? Why can't it be like Raccoon?
God damn it!
Okay, fine.
Rocket
All
Raccoon
raccoons
speaks English!
speak
It's
Portuguese.
Bradley Cooper!
Every raccoon speaks Portuguese. That's
There's no
canon.
subtitles for my chip 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 chip.
Is that how you think Portuguese sounds? You fucking racist.
Why do you think raccoons speak Portuguese?
I don't know. Look at him.
Portuguese are short and hairy.
There you go.
Can I...
And they have tiny hands, all of them.
A fucking trope I hate in comics I've thought about all week is I hate that every comic book hero is a genius. I hate that everyone's side trait is like genius intellect.
It might make for a pretty poor comic if your hero was a dumbass.
Deadpool!
Not again, he's actually pretty damn smart.
He's smart
And immortal.
I say he's
He's just a smart ass, not necessarily stupid.
I say he's clever. He's not like genius level. Like I feel like Dick Grayson's not even a genius, but he's smart in what he does. Like he's tactical.
No, he's
Yeah.
actually a genius.
Is it? Fuck!
Yeah.
Like I hate it. I don't like that every character's a genius.
He's Lil Batman in almost every facet except for the money because he got his money from Batman.
So he is just Batman.
Yeah,
You're telling me.
just without the money.
I feel like I want like characters with skills, but like I feel like that everyone's thing is like they have a genius IQ. Cause like there's a billion, hundreds of superheroes that are just all geniuses, and none that are just really just fucking good at something. Like I feel like, cause I was about to say, like, I feel like Arsenal's not a genius. He probably is. Like, oh, he knows how to make a gun and he can calculate pi in his head, and he
Probably
sneaks
all
to
the
kill a
angles and
Well-
geometry is probably a easy thing for him.
I feel like that's a skill though. Like I don't think that's genius
Yeah.
intellect. He's just a genius archer then.
But I think some of these characters, intellectually, they are considered geniuses
Yeah.
on like super high IQ levels.
Yeah.
And when you have a whole world populated by these people, it quits being
Special.
it-
Or above normal.
Yeah,
Like,
it-
it is the new normal
it's
now.
Yeah.
it's normal. Like, okay, well, we're all geniuses, so clearly the only one who can defeat us is a moron.
Yeah.
Because we can't think on that level.
Well, I would think then, like, it would also have to kind of be like, if everyone was super smart like that, you'd also kind of have to, like, I feel like it would leave the people who weren't necessarily as, like, quick on the draw, it would kind of leave them behind, because my thing is, like, if you have 15 goddamn dudes who are, like, smart as balls that can also shoot an arrow, fucking dipshit over there with a fucking bow and arrow and can, like, hit stuff really well. It's like, well, yeah, so can everyone else. And I also feel like being a superhero also means you have to be kind of smart, because you're making decisions that are life and death. I mean, like, decisions that are like, okay, you really have to be able to, like, very quickly figure out, is it important to get this bad guy and stop him from killing millions later, or destroy this one building? Like, I mean, people have to make this kind of decisions and, like, weigh their options really fast, and I feel like, maybe that's not necessarily, like, an IQ thing, but you have to be you have to have a really good processing speed, and maybe people confuse, like, high processing speed with being a genius, because I also feel like every time I hear someone being like, oh, this character's like a genius, like Tony Stark, I'm like, he's good at building things.
No, he's actually a genius.
I know, but, like, I mean, but... I guess he's a bad example, but even, like, I think, like, Tony Stark, okay, so he's, like, amazing at building things. He's, like, super great at that stuff. He's, like, fantastic at math. But, I mean, like, what else constitutes him being a genius aside from being, like, really good at, like...
Scientist.
Yeah, I mean, like, so did that, like, automatically make you genius? Which, I mean, like, again, he is incredibly
on a science
smart.
level, he grasps, like, high concept. Like, obviously, he owns patents for, like, cold fusion type shit that other people can't even crack. He's figured out a way to do it.
But,
and in most societies, that would mark you as a genius to be able to figure out equations others can't.
Yeah.
And he can.
But my thing is, like, okay, so science-wise, he's really cool. But I feel like, and you know what? I will 100% say this. I am coming from a fucking movie perspective, because I fucking don't like Iron Man. I think he's a dick. So, fuck it. I will probably sound like a dumbass, so educate me. But, I feel like whenever I see him in, like, any sort of, like, personal situation or anything where, like, some sort of mental acuity or, like, personal skills would be important, he's real lackluster. So I don't feel like I could quantify anyone as a genius who's that fucking socially
I'll tell you this. The movie version of Tony Stark is very different than the comic book version of Tony Stark. The only thing, I mean, I say the only things they have in common, the main separator of the two is the actual movie version, he has a far more likable personality.
In the movies?
Yes.
So he's even worse in the comics?
Yes.
Fuck him even harder!
In the comics, he is a pretentious, rich, smart douche, and has no sense of humor.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I'll actually contest that. I think he's actually funny in the comics.
He is not funny. He has that dry, shitty humor, and he's also a raging alcoholic.
I'll say he does drink a lot in the comics.
No,
he
there's
drinks a lot in the fucking movies.
There's a lot of, but in the comics, there's tons of story arcs where he is just a fucking, like, I guess, high functioning alcoholic. Yeah. That's just what he is. And the movies try to touch on it because that's part of who he is as a character, but they don't play on that. He's not an absolute alcoholic in the movies, and he has a higher sarcasm rate in the movies.
Yeah.
Where, like, he's wittier, he's quick and wittier in the movies. In the comics, they've tried to alter him in the comics now to match the movie.
Yeah.
To say, like, oh, now he's wittier. But when you read old Iron Man comics, they're shitty, by the way. Don't do it.
Well, yeah,
they're horrible. Horrible.
But, like, the only thing I think of, like, the sense of humor, I remember there was one small scene, it was like a 2-panel, like, joke, where, like, it was, like, in the scene, like, they have, like, the Avengers there, they're all, like, hanging out casually. Like, Thor's there and he's talking normal, and I thought that was weird, because I didn't keep up with comics till then, I just jumped into this story. And they actually addressed, like, Thor talking normal, and they asked, like, why that is, and, like, Tony, like, Iron Man steps in, and was like, I told him I'd donate, like, $1 billion to any charity if he stopped talking with an Asgardian accent. That's why he talks, like, with no accent. I thought that was funny.
That's fucked.
Yeah. But, like, I will say he's funny, but that is his type of humor. It's things like that.
I can't believe he's xenophobic. Stop talking like one of you dirty Norse.
It's also a thing when
Norsemen.
Where he fucking calls Miss Marvel, who, and, like, he calls her for, like, an Avengers thing, and, like, her family's fighting at the time.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, it's loud over there, like, are you in a bar? And she's like, I'm 16. That's his kind of humor, though. And, like, I'm not saying it's, like, it's not, like, the wit humor he has in the movies, where it's actual, like, jokes.
Yeah.
It's just what he says is sometimes funny, and it's written to be funny, but it's not written as a joke.
He sounds like dog shit.
Yeah.
No, yes, the character, I mean, if I solely based going to the movies off of what I read in comics, I would have never watched Iron Man. That was a comic book series that I could never get really into. Even his villains to me seemed shitty. Everything just was like, I don't care about this. I love the idea of a suit. Like, as a kid, I loved like robotics and cybernetics and shit like that. That was like right up my alley.
Zoids are for.
Yeah, it's a power suit. And, like, I'm down with a power suit. I am in this. But then his character, to me, I just didn't care about the character. I'm like, I guess if I was rich and I couldn't be Batman, I guess I could be Iron Man. Yeah. Which you're not losing anything there. But I just didn't.
Slightly less bulletproof too.
I never cared about the characters.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care about Iron Man. Never have. Thor, another one. I love mythology Thor. I was about to say I almost love movie Thor. I really don't, but I like movie Thor. I hate the Thor comics. One, again, we go back to consistency in art. One of the longest standing comic book artists was a Thor artist, and I hated his art. So I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
And again, when I talk about villains, I mean, come on, Thor sometimes fights a fucking dinosaur. So you're like,
hold the fucking phone, buddy, because I think we need to talk about Mr. Mjolnir over here fighting an Ankylosaurus.
That'd be fucking funny, but I feel like that's very straightforward.
What the fuck happened?
Well, you know there are dinosaurs in the Marvel Universe. Like, there's a place... there's the Savage Land, which is just all fucking still dinosaurs exist there.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So,
is this another planet? Is this on Earth?
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
In comic book Marvel Universe, there are shit tons of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I thought that was because there's a lot of time machines.
Have you ever heard of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
No!
Really?
And actually, that started out as Moon Boy.
Yeah.
He had his own fucking T-Rex.
Yeah, it's this little girl with like a giant red T-Rex as like her partner. It's really cute.
Yeah, which, side note, for a long time, my friends called me Moon Boy because he was fucking hairy, and that's what I was. So, I hated that character. That's why I know he fucking had a dinosaur.
Speaking of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, that actually reminds me, like, in terms of, like, Thor being boring or, like, nothing really being interesting in Iron Man, you know that reminds me of, like, of a trend I've been seeing?
Dinosaurs in Marvel movies?
Yeah. Well, not movies. We fucking need that. I'm hoping we get that Thor Ragnarok with the Nidhogg, though. Give me a fucking dragon that bites on the roots of the Tree of Life. I really want that in the movie. Give me the Eternal Dragon. Ah! Anyway, so, like, you know what I think comics need that they're getting? Another character that was getting really, really flat and you could do nothing with. Do you know who that character was? Oh, I'm gonna stop you there. I see all pistons going off in your brain. I'm talking to Percy. No, I'm gonna stop you there.
Black Widow?
Close. Peter Parker.
Pick the peck of pickled peppers?
So Peter Parker...
And a pickled Peter Pepper.
Peter Parker was getting, like, sort of fucking stale at the end of, like, his comic. And when that happens...
5 comics?
Yeah. 5 comics and, like, decades and decades of Peter Parker.
Yeah, a movie for every comic.
Fucking... Seriously, though. And, like, when that happened, coincidentally, we get Miles Morales, who is, like, a really praised character. And you're talking about, like, Iron Man. Recently, there's been Ironheart, who's this character named Riri Williams, who I guess is canonically the smartest character in the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
Like, apparently she was, like, certified genius at age 5 and stuff.
But there's another testament to your point is, here, let's introduce another character and make them a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like they might make her a genius because, like, the Iron Man story... Because, like, Miles is smart, but they don't really ever plan on being smart. There's a lot of things, like, in his character that were drafted. Because, like, I read the comics. The things that are canon about him are that, one, he's black and Hispanic. His dad's black, his mom's Hispanic. He's...
Just like me!
Yeah. With your fucking dark skin.
Yeah!
You fucking ghost.
Look, man!
So, he's black and Hispanic. He's not canonically gay. And he was actually just talk that he was going to be, like, transgender or, like, hermaphrodite when they first made him. I think that was also hysteria being like, oh, they made him black, what's next? They're making him a woman!
Yeah. But I mean,
so, he's not, so, like...
But it seemed like they wanted to try to put as much as they could on him. Like, they might as well made him also, now he's going to be Muslim or Jewish. Now he's going to be like, what else can we also give to him to make him encapsulate every minority we can come up with so that we can say,
That
we have now touched every minority, and everyone has their hero.
And now with his story, I think they were really careful because the only things they really did was make him black and Hispanic. Nothing else is officially canon. Like, his sexuality isn't canon. He's had a girlfriend, but like, nothing else is like...
Which, of course, as you know, definitely makes you heterosexual.
Well, no, I'm saying like he's had a girlfriend. That's why I said nothing's canon.
Yeah.
He can still date a guy. Like, it's...
He can still fucking suck some dick in a back alley with a girlfriend. It's fine.
That's how being gay works.
Yeah.
When he's like that first dick, it's in an alley.
Oh, yep.
Behind a Wendy's.
Yep. Oh, why a Wendy's?
Because you need...
Arby's.
But why not In-N-Out?
Well,
No!
because that's the name of the actual process. You know what? It's overkill. So anyway...
Which is coincidentally the
God
name
damn it.
of me as a superhero when I was 12.
Was
and then I
In-N-Out?
turned into Underkill when I was 24.
I think meant In-N-Out. It's like, that's an illegal thing to call a 12-year-old for what we were just talking about.
That's the worst. This conversation's the worst. Keep talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, Miles Morales, they just make him black and Hispanic. It's the only thing canon about him. In terms of, like, representation. I feel like when they wanted to add the other stuff, they did it to other characters.
Yeah.
Like Miss Marvel, who's, like, the first, like, Muslim comic book hero to headline a series. Her series is fucking amazing. Like, hers and Miles are my favorite series. And then they're like, oh, we need more female characters. So, like, they rebooted, like, Captain Marvel, and she's super popular now. And so, like, I feel like Marvel's been pretty good about, like, sprinkling out the diversity a little bit. And I feel like they're trying not to overload to one characters, because that was almost Miles when they were drafting.
But I think there actually was a lot of talk about you can't put everything into one character.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that becomes, when companies do that, it means they don't do that with anybody else.
Yeah.
They're like, this is our all-inclusive character everyone can relate
And
to.
see, nobody wants that, so that's why we don't have it.
Well, that's the thing that I think we were talking about last time with the whole Dumbledore thing, that you can't just have one character and be like, we have diversity, look at this, all of them. Like, you can't just be like, oh, we have, like, one of everything and it's the same fucking guy.
Look at this one old gay man.
Exactly.
Identify with this...
With this everything. He's an everything stew. Everything that's not white
that
is
was
here.
a big issue, at least for Marvel, was they had no gay characters forever.
Yeah.
And then they did this big thing like, we're going to end up having a gay character. And everyone was talking about, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then when they announced it, everyone's like, oh, great. So you take a third-rate character on a backup team, North Star.
The fuck is North Star?
Exactly. And
Alrighty,
that was the point. He was a member of Alpha Flight, which is
what the fuck is Alpha Flight?
The Canadian version of the X-Men.
Fuck Canada!
Exactly. And he's been in the comics forever. Again, his superpower was super speed and light. So he can fly really fast.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
He can fly really fast. And his twin sister, was Aurora. She was super bright.
That's going to be South Star.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah. They were both shitty characters. But he was an Olympic skier. He was cheating, using his powers to help him win. But all his comic things would always show him, like, doing extravagant things and everything. And people were like, he would go to all these, like, parties. He was always...
Fucking Bull saying that of his leotard, just like being a fucking Olympic skater. That's me.
No, skier. Like, downhill skier. He wasn't a
You can
figure
have balls
skater.
out for that.
He could.
Imagine him bringing, like, still ice skates down the hill.
But
down the ski track.
He was kind of a lame character to begin with. Unless you're an
He
Alpha
sounds
Flight
pretty
fan.
bad.
And if you're an Alpha Flight fan, you're probably Canadian, so fuck you anyway.
Thank you. We are taking a stand, and that stand is...
America's top hat can kiss our ass.
Can I tell you an actual confusing instance once they made a character gay, but it was really confusing how they
Wolverine.
did it? No.
Oh.
But close. An X-Men. Bobby Drake. Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
Now they made him gay.
His name was Iceman?
Yes.
That's awful. Continue.
But wait.
There's more.
They made the past version of Iceman gay.
So he, like, grew out of it?
There's a time-displaced some of them X-Men in the comics right now. Cyclops 1. Bobby Drake's another. Bobby Drake is gay. The young version of him that's time-displaced. The older version of him is not. And they talk about that. But they haven't talked about why the fuck that makes sense. Because he's really open about it. Young Bobby Drake's really open about it.
He's got a fucking 3 dicks in one hand when he walks into the room.
He has a bouquet of cocks everywhere he goes. Like,
He's He's got
a leather harness on, assless chaps.
Oh yeah.
The first time he talks in the comics,
constantly, he walks into every room with the YMCA going on.
Well, the first time, like, he talks in the comics, they just take the ball gag out of his mouth, like, just really aggressive.
No, they leave it in. He just pulls it out, and he'll say what he has to clearly, and then drop it back in.
Yeah. But, like, he's really open about it, and older one isn't. And I'm like, that's a very weird way to make someone gay, but want to stick your toe in the water about it.
Well,
and also
that's them not willing to commit.
Yeah. Because you know he's gonna go back to his own fucking time, and then get older Bobby Drake, who's not gay anymore.
Yeah, what the fuck? So my thing is like, what's he prayed it away?
Or
like, what bullshit is this?
What they're gonna do is have new, young Bobby Drake get in a relationship with old Bobby Drake.
And then they have a baby, and the baby is themselves, and then they're the people who created the time disparity.
Drakeception?
Drakeception. There you go. Yeah. That's the new X-Men movie.
Imagine making a sexual Ouroboros with yourself.
That sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard
actually
anyone
an episode
say.
of
I swear to God.
God damn it.
There was.
Of Outer Limits?
I think it was Outer Limits. It's an old TV show. And one of the episodes was...
Sexual Ouroboros.
Well, it was a really douchey guy who was like, obviously into himself a lot. He was a womanizer, so he was having all the sex, and all it was like, aren't I the greatest lover you ever had? You'll never get anyone better than me. Then it goes to perspective of this woman who is played by Yancey Butler, who played Witchblade in the TV series.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's how old I am. And she's stalking him, and then at one point in time they end up having sex, and while they're having sex, she's telling him, like, isn't this the greatest sex you ever had? I'm totally rocking your world. This is the best thing on earth. I mean, it's near the end of it's pretty much the end of the episode. And he's like, no, actually I've had better. And then she gets pissed off and like beats him, and she's like, that's impossible because I am you. And I became a woman and went back in time to meet my young self, to fuck my own self, to prove that I am the greatest lover I could possibly ever have. And
that sounds like a really bad Goosebumps story.
Don't.
Like the eyes turn green at the end.
Yeah.
But yes, that was an entire episode. A guy transitioned into a woman, went back in time, fucked himself to prove that he was the greatest lay he could possibly ever have, and that was the episode.
What the fuck?
What the fuck show was that on?
Outer Limits. I believe it was Outer Limits.
What the fuck is Outer Limits? That
Outer Limits
sounds amazing.
Outer Limits was a hipper version of The Twilight Zone. So they took these tales, they would tell a story, and at the end, they'd Shyamalan it and just throw a twist on it and be like, dun dun dun!
I love the idea that they were like, that there's like a fucking, like, a Twilight Zone version where you're sitting there the whole time and you're just like, this is just a guy having sex with other people, and at the end, he fucks himself. Dum-dum! End of story. I'm like, I feel like I'd be really let down if I was watching like a seemingly scary M. Night Shyamalan flick, and the whole joke was, you fucked yourself!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking that's very possible for him to do too.
I don't know, maybe Bobby Drake will fuck himself and then they'll both be gay.
Well, I'm just saying, in that instance, then young Bobby Drake goes back to his time, old Bobby Drake goes, maybe I am gay. Or bisexual.
I fucked myself, that he's been gay.
Is it gay or
he may like it. He may say, I want to try this, but I don't trust anyone else to try it with. I'll try it with myself.
Is it gonna be like...
What if he got something from himself? What if he got herpes to himself?
What if he goes up to fucking Pyro and it's like, I want to fuck you, but don't worry, I've practiced on my younger self.
I hate everything about that sentence.
So, also, I want to move on to something.
You're
gonna pick one of two, okay?
Okay.
Obama or Anarchy?
Obamarchy.
God damn it.
I like Obamarchy.
I could talk about both of these, it would just be some time.
Okay.
Wait, they're both kind of short. I will say that.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about Anarchy.
Really?
Okay, which one's better to start with?
Oh.
Is like one leading into the other, or are they both discussions?
They're both separate things.
Okay, then I want to talk about... You know what? Actually, talk about Obama. Because the thing that I like about... I'm going to say what I want about Obama. I like Obama.
Okay. I like Obama too. Chris? Obama or Anarchy. If you guys disagree, just Rochambeau.
I say Obama.
What do you say?
I like Obama. You can go with Obama.
There you go. Obama.
Okay. So,
Obama.
Obama.
Okay.
Obama.
Okay, thank God you didn't make Anarchy. That could have been violent. But like,
Well, we will get to. I want to get to Anarchy.
okay, then we'll go to it after this. Fuck it.
Yes.
But like, so Obama, let me start this story of something that happened to me that I remembered as a like repressed memory or something this week. Mm-hmm. So first of all, let me ask you both. What do you think? Stop! Where the fuck did it go? Persia smacked that hat off my head in the middle of me being an intellectual, asking questions.
He's wearing like a Jason Mraz like straw hat right now, so I just fucking knocks
some
off
fucking
his
Monkey D. Luffy, son of
head.
Ape.
Oh, kill yourself!
Son of Ape D. Luffy, cousin to Chimp D. Luffy,
Grandsons of Gorilla D. Luffy.
great grandchild of Gibbon D. Goofy. So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think is the most grilling short thing to say to somebody to completely destroy them? Like, if someone's really pissing you off, what's the one thing you think is universally would shut a motherfucker down? Because I'm telling you, you're not thinking of what I know now.
Guess the worst thing you'd ever do to shut somebody down or end your part of the conversation is to just tell them, calm down.
Oh, fuck you! Fuck you, that's the worst!
That's really good.
That's the worst!
Calm down and let's just talk about this rationally.
I'd kill you.
And
I'd kill
in
you.
that
I would
tone,
just shoot you.
in that tone, the I'm superior to you tone, can we just calm down and just talk about this
Okay,
rationally?
but we said end a conversation, not like confligate.
Do you think any conversation has ever continued past that point of calm down and let's just talk about this rationally?
Oh yeah, because it's like, fuck you telling me to calm down, I will skin your balls!
Yeah.
There is no time I've ever been told to calm down, and I haven't immediately come back with, kill yourself.
Yeah, but the conversation is pretty much done because now you're just angry and you're just going to scream and yell at them for telling you to have calmed down. So conversation's done. They don't need to talk anymore.
Now the true battle begins.
Yeah, now everyone grabs their fucking swords and starts swinging.
Saying calm down is the vocal equivalent to saving before a boss fight.
Exactly. Except you can't fucking go back.
Okay, so let me tell you the story now.
Okay.
I was at like a party with other people. It was a drinking occasion. Mm-hmm. I was of age. Don't worry about it. Cops listening. But we were all like drinking like in a circle.
Unless you're Dutch, fuck you.
We were all drinking in a circle because that's what you do when you're fucking 20s and you start drinking. So everyone gets in a circle.
True.
And this was one of those occasions where like I went there because
it's like a fairy ring apparently.
It is fairy ring of fucking just
beer.
Like American people in their 20s. But like, yeah. So I went to this party because I knew like 2 people. Yeah. And by party I mean like there was like 9 people there. Uh-huh. And so I knew like 2 people because I got invited out by them. I just didn't know anybody else. So it's all friends of friends. Because here's what happened. We're all talking around a circle. We're all drinking. And I'm a very innocent drinker. Like, I don't get into fucking fights or scuffs or anything. I just do goofy shit. And so I just started talking like Obama. Like, I said something like, oh, well,
that famous phrase?
Yeah.
The Babadook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that famous thing he says. And, like, I say something in Obama's voice, just like, because his voice is fucking hilarious. And so, like, I do this voice, people start laughing, and they start doing it. And then we make, like, Obama jokes. Like, we all pretty much, like, we all like Obama. And so, like, we're just, like, making jokes and stuff. And, like...
So memeing it up.
Yeah. And, like, well, they're all pretty cool guys here. This is the first time I've ever been out with friends of friends, and it all mostly goes okay. Yeah. And there's one dude I just didn't like at this, like, get-together. And... Okay. We'll call him,
Lanky Kong.
Yeah, so let's call him Lanky. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, Lanky is, like... He's this dude who's just, like... He's a little weird, like... He's weird in the sense that, like... He wanted to make jokes and, like, be people's friends, but he didn't know how. And he had a terminal case of foot and mouth, which is just what you happen. It's like the Murphy's Law with jokes, which is any time you could make a joke, it'll always be a bad joke. Because, like, you want to be in with people, so you make a lot of jokes, and just none of them land. You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, and none of it's sticking. And so, we're all making our Obama jokes.
No.
And this is super fucking horrible, but it's what he said. We're all, like, laughing and stuff.
Okay, this is a quote, then. I'm just gonna bracket this joke that Brad's about to say. It's a quote from Lanky Kong.
This is a quote. But, like, so Lanky, like, he's, like, laughing at all of us. And then, like, when the laughter dies down a little bit, he makes his joke. Where he's like, I don't know who thought to put a monkey in a suit anyway. it goes dead silent. Because, like, everyone's just quiet. Except for this one dude who's the friend who starts laughing. And, like, he starts, like, just dying.
Oh.
And then, like, the Lanky, he's, like, starting to laugh up with them because he's, like, noticing everyone's being quiet. So he's one person laughing. And he starts laughing out of, like, relief. And you're like, oh, it's like, yeah, this guy gets it. And then the dude, the friend, just goes straight-faced and just says, "You're such a fucking burden." And I rode my bike home, and I was mad. Not that this person called Obama a monkey, but mad that I had never thought to call someone a burden before. I was thinking about, like, I was riding my bike, I was like, you're such a fucking burden. I was, like, saying to myself, and I was, like, getting emotional out of hearing myself say it to me. I was like, that's so perfect. Like I was like, that guy's so fucking cool. Like, I want to suck his dick. He's so fucking cool. That's such an awesome thing to say to somebody.
So what happened to the roastee? Was Lanky, did Lanky call him marks on his ass?
No, he looked devastated. He was, like, devastated, because as soon as you said you're such a fucking burden, like, half of us, including me, started dying, because it was, like, the relief of, like, someone said it. So, like, and this dude, he just, like, he looks devastated. He, like, is, like, staring at his feet, and in my head, I'm like, good. But, like, so I'm like,
man.
You're not gonna learn how to fucking work your funny bone unless you just get annihilated sometimes by your superior. Because, really, you have to be fucking booed before you actually get funny. And I could tell he was trying to be funny, he was just a fucking idiot. And, like...
Dude,
it's
It's
the best thing I've ever heard to shut someone down. And anytime I work in retail and I get a bad customer, I just want to be like, you're such a fucking burden. Like, calling someone a burden is so, like, harsh. It's incredible.
I don't think you've ever told me that story.
I just remembered it this week.
But that's beautiful.
Isn't that, like, the best thing ever?
It's genuinely beautiful.
If you have someone you just want to burn a bridge with, tell them they're a burden. And laugh at them.
I like that. Thank you.
It's great. Oh, do you want to know the Anarchy one now?
I do.
Okay.
I do want to know the Anarchy one. Let's follow it up. Let's keep this pain train going.
So Anarchy. Dogs or cats? I say cats. Yeah? Why are cats the best? Tell me. Why are cats better than dogs?
So I'm gonna mute your mic, and I am going to.
We're gonna talk about this.
Podcast.
You said you wanted Anarchy.
I said I wanted you to talk about Anarchy. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I want to talk about Anarchy, the subject.
I want to make a fucking fight.
Yes.
What are your guys' opinions, and what are your arguments?
Okay, Chris, you go first.
Well, there's really no other opinion. There's really no argument. Dogs are superior in every way to cats.
Thank you.
Well,
and there's really not much else you can do with that.
There's
not even worth fighting over, because there's no logical argument to make cats good.
But what if you know? But like, what if someone close to you came to you and said, "Hey, cats are better. Cats are better," and right? And they thought that you were equals. Like you thought this person that you'd invest in time and care into, and I'm looking straight in Brad's fucking eyes as I say this.
Yeah.
Something that you invested friendship and love into, and they come to you and they just backhand you with a bunch of nonsense garbage. How would you take that, Chris?
How'd I take that? I'd say, well, I'm glad that you love cats, because you will understand how little attention I'm going to be giving you from now on.
You know what? I am going to save that soundbite and play it for Brett every goddamn day for the rest of our friendship.
Yeah, fucking wake me up with it.
Wake me up. I'm never giving you any attention again. Can't wake up.
Because, like, for me, the hierarchy of animals I like, it's like the top three is like there's dogs, then cats, and then skyrocket above them is like every reptile. That's like my animal hierarchy for me.
Okay, well then the real question is, why do you like reptiles so much?
Oh my god.
Because he's a fucking freak.
Okay.
He's a freak in a weeaboo.
What the fuck? Okay. I'm sorry. Is that hidden leaf symbol above Quinn's room a one-person decision?
Hey, you know what? It was mine. But you know why I still fucking have one? Because mine didn't break because I wore it too much in high school. You would have yours right next to mine if you didn't fucking wear yours every goddamn day.
Mine didn't break!
Then where is it, Brad?
I lost it in a move. And I was like...
To Konoha? Were you moving Konoha Gakure, you fucking weeaboo shit?
Listen, man. Okay, reptiles are fucking cool, because one, there's a billion reptiles. There's like 2 dogs.
That doesn't
Kill yourself! Kill your fucking stupid self!
Quantity doesn't make anything cool.
Yeah!
Yeah, it does, because it's more chance for things to be fucking awesome.
Do you know...
Any snake is cuter than every puppy. No, it's like, reptiles have, like, they emote, they just emote differently. They're like...
By blinking?
Their body language.
They don't have a body, it's a tube. It's like a sock full
Every
of
reptile
jelly
is a
beans.
snake?
Yes.
Including the turtles?
Yes. They're just hard snakes.
Every tortoise...
Solid snake, a turtle.
Tortoises are the cutest fucking things in the world. They're cuter than snakes, snakes are cuter than puppies. And kittens are cuter than puppies.
Kittens suck ass.
Fuck.
I do not care about cats. I don't 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 fucking care about cats. I can see cats and like cats if I ended up... I don't want to, but if I ended up dating someone who fucking had a cat, I'd like that cat until it died, and then we're getting a dog. Okay? Like, that's how that would fucking go. Because I don't like cats. And I don't like cat people. If you're... cat people are... They're just like, oh, I'm aloof and don't care about anything, and I'm distant and like my space. Well, you know what? Fuck you! Pet me!
Anarchy. This is what I wanted.
Fuck you!
Oh.
God damn it.
You're as red as your hair.
Fuck!
This is all I want.
I'm so mad right now.
Fucking Chris is like... Chris is like the most relaxed force in this town right now.
I'm so mad. I am so upset. I hate this conversation because anytime someone's like, oh, cats are better. Like, the thing is, I'm a dog person. I am very staunchly a dog person. If I were to have any pet, it would be a dog. You're not a cat person, you're a lizard person, so you're a freak outlier that eats spiders in caves, okay? Like, go back to eating crickets and laying eggs, you fucking Neanderthal!
I'm sorry, goddamn rat man.
Oh, rats are good too.
Rats are good.
Rats are great creatures, but I'm a dog person.
Yeah. Next podcast, we'll talk about why monkeys are so fucking funny. I love monkey jokes.
Monkeys are awesome.
They're so funny.
Fuck both of you. I hate
What is your
monkeys.
problem with monkeys?
I hate monkeys. They have hands. They have human hands, and they have eyes that have souls, and I don't like that.
They do. That's what makes them amazing creatures.
No,
anybody who puts one in a zoo.
They can learn sign language. I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk to my animal.
They can hold a gun.
Well, do we have any other topics today, or can we call this to a close? I feel like my brain is boiled. I'm pissed. I'm gonna go home.
You want to talk about
I'm just gonna go to my room.
What do you mean go home? You're on your couch.
This isn't home anymore with you living here, you fucking dick. Can we call this ended?
I think we're done.
Can we? I think we've expended. There's no more animals that I want to talk about.
Yes. Fuck cats. Don't eat bugs.
Listen, man.
That's our sign off. Fuck cats. Don't eat bugs.
Fuck bugs. Don't eat cats.
Don't eat either of those things, but don't own a cat either.
Put a cricket in you.
Alright, this has been a Dab of Salt. I'm Percy.
Brad.
Chris.
And we'll bring you some salt next week. Have a good day.
Salted crickets.
Don't have a cat. Goodbye.
Our whole lives are a sin, that's the headspace we're in. It's a dab of salt.